Hello, Coolers, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with Alejandro Balde, as it has been reported that the player have replaced Jose Gaya in the Spain national team. Of course, Jose Gaya was out injured 2 days ago. Luis Enrique have finally made this big decision to call Alejandro Balde to his squad. Of course, this comes as a big news for Barcelona and most especially for Alejandro Balde, who will be making his debut in the Spain national team in the biggest stages of them all in the World Cup. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about this report claiming that Xavi is convinced that he has a Busquets replacement in the Barcelona squad. Who is that replacement? We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, before we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. With days remaining until the start of the 2022 FIFA World Cup, Spain has been dealt with a massive blow as Jose Gaya has been ruled out of the competition owing to an injury. In light of his absence, Spain has confirmed they have called up Barcelona youngster Alejandro Balde as his replacement. The young left-back is soon set to join the nation's expedition in Qatar just a few days before the World Cup starts. Balde was tipped as one of the surprise inclusions in the Spanish squad just days before Luis Enrique revealed his final team. Although the youngster did not make the list initially, he was one of the players in contention to get a spot in the event of an injury. That moment has finally come, with Balde bracing himself for his first appearance in the Spanish national team in the World Cup. The Barcelona starlet has yet to win a single cap for La Roja, but it appears he is set to serve as a second fiddle to his Barca teammate Jordi Alba in the left-back position. It will not come as a surprise to see Enrique handing him an odd opportunity in one of the group stage matches. Based on the performances, Balde may even get a regular berth in the starting 11 later on in the competition. The 19-year-old, after all, has already established himself as a key member of the Barcelona squad and has been ahead of Alba in the pecking order so far this season. Whether or not that translates into the international stage remains to be seen, but this call-up will serve as an excellent opportunity for Balde to establish himself as one of the best young fullbacks in Europe by performing at the highest level of football. Great news for Balde, great news for Barca. Of course, Balde, who have been the surprise package this season, have finally been called for the World Cup. I think this is just destiny. This is just something that was destined because this guy from nowhere exploded onto the scene. Xavi started admiring him a lot and even placed him, as a first choice left back ahead of experienced players like Jordi Alba and Marcos Alonso. And to be honest, I initially thought that Marcos Alonso was the one who was supposed to be chosen, and with this comment that Alejandro Balde is the one chosen by Luis Enrique, it's really something to be, to rejoice. Seeing a young star and Luis Enrique seeing him as, the better replacement for Jose Gaya, who picked up an injury, is something great to listen to. And I think the young star will be so elated about this. So he's set to travel to Qatar. Of course, Spain is already in Qatar. The whole squad is in Qatar. Balde will have to travel there and meet with the rest of the squad so he can join them. And of course, it is really great to see that Balde's first ever game in the Spain national team will be in a World Cup match. Hardly do you see that in any player. Hardly. It's not like he wants to debut in a friendly match or whatever. In the greatest stages of them all, in the World Cup, I think Balde deserves it. To be honest, some people were somehow surprised that Luis Enrique did not call him initially for the squad. But Enrique had to say, look, I went for experience. Of course, Balde just burst onto the scenes, but just some few months ago this season. And maybe Enrique never wanted to take that risk to put a lot of trust in the player. And maybe if it was in the Euro Nations League or whatever, he could start, maybe he could be called up. But this is a World Cup. This is the greatest stages of football. And Enrique never wanted to take that risk. you know. So it is great to see that, destiny have fallen on Alejandro Balde to be the one chosen by Luis Enrique to replace the injured Jose Gaya at the left back slot. But now, definitely, I think Luis Enrique will keep him as a second choice in that squad, despite Abade being the first choice left back. But I think there in the Spanish national team, he will likely be behind Jordi Alba in the pecking order. So it will be quite interesting to see how Luis Enrique shuffle his pack when it comes to the left back position for the Spain national team in the grand stages of football in Qatar. Then, moving on to the next story of discussion, there is a lot of uncertainty surrounding the future of Barcelona's defensive midfield position, especially with Sergio Busquets nearing the end of his career. The veteran midfielder's current deal expires at the end of the season, with many expecting the player to depart Camp Nou. The uncertainty over his future has compelled Barcelona to look for options in the transfer market. The club have been linked with a move for the likes of Ruben Neves and Martin Zubimendi in their quest to find a long-term replacement for Busquets. However, according to a report from Mundo Deportivo, Xavi has been left impressed with the performances of Frankie de Jong. The Dutchman has performed consistently in recent months, with the Barcelona coach considering him as the ideal replacement for Busquets. This comes as a major shift in the Young's fortunes as the former Ajax starlet was linked with a move to Manchester United in the summer. The club were keen on sanctioning the sale of the midfielder. However, with a series of consistent performances in the middle of the park, Xavi is now increasingly dependent on the young. He has been left impressed by the player's determination and commitment to the club. Xavi had initially considered Frankie de Jong as more of an interior midfielder. However, following his performances, the Barcelona head coach is assured of the Dutchman's defensive qualities. He considers him not only the replacement for Busquets, but also an option at centre-back if required. Frankie de Jong's rapid turnaround of fortunes has been one of the bright sparks of Barcelona this season. However, whether or not it will be enough to guarantee his future at the Camp Nou remains to be seen. Frankie de Jong has been a phenomenal player this season. Honestly, I think he has improved his game compared to last season, and I think it is coming at the right time. Of course, when his future have been in so much doubts, uncertainty, and when Javi has been doubting him, benching him some time, I think this form of Frankie de Jong came at the very right time to disprove the manager that look, I'm still very good, and you know I should be here for a very long time. And it has been a very disaster, like this disgraceful something, like Barcelona trying to push Frankie de Jong out of the club. I think Frankie de Jong deserves to be at Barcelona for a very long time, because there are many big clubs there out in Europe who really want a player like Frankie de Jong, but they can't see. But look at what we have. Look at this treasure that we have, but Barcelona are trying to mess it up. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.